Good morning, everybody. My name is Bailey Cooper, and I would like to welcome you to Eric Lofholm's daily 15-minute motivational call, which is better than a cup of coffee. And this is broadcast live on the phone at 7:45 Pacific time, Monday through Friday. So if you want to kick off your day to a great 15-minute motivational call, I will put the link in this description. Right now I'm doing a Facebook Live on this motivational call. This is actually my, I believe my 14th motivational call. And this is the last one that I'm doing for the short term. I've done the entire month of January and December, and it has absolutely changed my life by changing my mindset. You can go to saleschampion.podbean.com to go back. Since January 1st of last year, Monday through Friday, we've done a motivational call, and it's been very inspiring. So today I want to talk to you guys about the secret to great storytelling. Now, whether or not you're in sales or you're in education or in training, whatever your background is, storytelling is a very powerful skill that helps connect one another, and it's all about rapport building. And rapport reduces resistance. So in sales, when you're connecting with the prospect, it's important to be viewed as another human being and not just a salesperson. Because going into a sales pitch, whether you're buying a car or somebody's selling you home improvement products at your house or somebody's knocking at your door, we have in the back of our mind an idea of somebody that rubbed us the wrong way in sales. So when you're on the other side and you're selling somebody something, it's very powerful when you have rapport with that prospect that they can eliminate that negative belief about you and they can be connected to you as another human being. So I want to tell you guys one story where I was selling a home security system and I wasn't really getting anywhere. The spouse wasn't really paying attention. The husband was really just wanting to speed it up so that he could eat dinner. And he looked down and he saw my socks, and I was wearing Redskin socks that my wife gave me for Christmas. And this was like a week after Christmas, and he grew up in Washington, D.C., and immediately the conversation went from, ending the alarm sales process to him taking me to his spare bedroom, and he showed me a Redskins memorabilia shrine, and I ended up getting the sale because I had rapport with that prospect. So a few things that I do in the sales presentation is I lead off with an agenda script. So I set the pace and I set the expectation that this is how the presentation is going to go. This is the content I'm going to deliver and the sequence I'm going to deliver it. And in the end, I'm going to ask for the order. And it basically goes like this. So today, what I'd like to do is tell you a little bit about myself, about why I decided to come work for this company, and get to know you a little bit and ask you a few questions, tell you about how this product can help you, make sure that I've properly identified your needs, and if it's okay with you, make my recommendation. And using that agenda script has helped improve my selling from about 30% to 60 to 70%, and that's an average of about the last 100 presentations that I've done. So I think it's important to maintain control of the conversation. And storytelling is a powerful way to keep them engaged, keep them interested. Now, it's a completely different topic to maintain control of the conversation. One simple technique is just, maybe asking them for a glass of water or asking them if it's okay or if they agree with you. Rather than telling them something, asking, what their opinion is about it, or if they would, asking assumptive statements. So back to storytelling, what I do is I just tell my story, where I came from, what got me into sales, why I've been selling for the past 12 years, why I'm passionate about it, that I enjoy helping people, and then I tell the company story, why I felt compelled to, spend my precious time away from my family, at 7 o'clock at night running an appointment for this company. Their reviews, the testimonials, the research that I did on that company, their customer service. And I always make it a point to say that I believe in quality of product is very important, almost more important than the amount of commission that the company pays me, because if I have a good company that I work for with a great product, that it should sell itself. And people really respect that. I think when you overcome that quality very early on, that you can close a larger deal compared to somebody that is just price shopping. If they agree with you that quality is important to them, then more than likely it's not going to matter as much if your product or service that you're offering costs a little bit more, if they believe it has a little bit more value than the other guys. So what I try and do is I try and find out enough about them before the appointment so I know what questions to ask. So I know how to establish rapport, maybe by doing a Google search of their email account. 9 times out of 10 when I generate an appointment with somebody, I get an email so that I can confirm that appointment. And I do a little bit of background research about that person so that I know where I can connect and relate with them beforehand. And when I find out about them, I know which questions to ask. And I'm genuinely interested. I'm a people person. So if you're not genuinely interested in people, this is not going to work, because they're going to read right through it. So I think being genuine is very key to storytelling. So when I find out about them and I connect and I feel like their guard is lowered, I think of the sales process as like boxing. And you get in there, and I have a lot of experience with door-to-door sales, but we're bombarded with like 10,000 advertisements on a daily basis. So we're trained to just say no, 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 whenever we see a billboard or hear a commercial or something pops up on YouTube as an ad, and we just instinctively say no. So connecting with them with storytelling is powerful. So I try and include a story in the very beginning of the process, either a customer that lives nearby them and just name dropping. And then during the presentation, I try and use storytelling by telling a customer's story of maybe an objection that they had and how we were able to overcome that and turn them into a happy customer. And then at the end of the presentation, I try and use storytelling to maybe get them to think about referring other people to me, where somebody's given me a review, a testimonial. They've passed along 3 or 4 names of people that may be interested in that product or service. And so setting them up for, being open-minded to hearing my message is what storytelling is about for me. And what I encourage you guys to do is to jot down, 10 customer stories. And what I like to do is every time I make a sale, I take notes about that customer, and I write down the reason that they bought, maybe the objection that they had, and then I move on so that when I send them a thank you note, when I follow up with them, maybe they call me a year from now, I know exactly who they are, what their dog's name is, or the reasons they bought, and I want to turn them into an everlasting source of referrals or a repeat customer. And nobody likes to buy from somebody that doesn't care about them. One example in particular, the guy that sold me my Scion XP, Hugh. I'll never forget Hugh. He was a very personable Vietnamese gentleman who was very active in his listening, and he didn't overstep his boundaries. And he found out exactly what I wanted, and he gave it to me. And we test drove one car, and I ended up buying that car because that was exactly what I wanted, and he delivered it to me, and he didn't try and oversell it. He just delivered on that. And he followed up with me with a thank you note, and then I ended up referring back to him 2 more sales for the company that I worked for. We bought, on 2 separate occasions, a company vehicle from him because I felt so confident that, he delivered a great quality service and he gave me the best value for what I paid. And, Hugh is still with that company. And that's really impressive that this was in March of 2012. And I still follow up with him about once every 4 or 5 months just to see how he's doing. And he is one of 2 people out of 15 sales reps in 2012 that still work for that Toyota dealer. And it's because he has a source of referrals. And so when you're that person that can connect and you have customers referring people back to you, you have a future ahead of you. So if you're doing what you love and you're in the career that you want to be in, then I encourage you to get a Rolodex of stories and follow up with your customers. Get them to refer people to you. But most importantly, if you can get testimonials and permission to share those testimonials, you can use that in future sales presentations. So I look forward to doing this podcast every Friday, and I call this my Full Throttle Friday podcast. I want to leave you guys with one story, and I'm almost finished reading it, but the book that I encourage you guys to read is, I hope you can see it. It's called The Storyteller's Secret, and it's a great book. If anybody likes TED Talks, the author is Carmine Gallo, and this story in here, it's chapter 23. It's about an entrepreneur makes Shark Tank history, and the story is about Charles Michael Yim. And his story is, at 6 years old, he opened up a lemonade stand, and then he developed a passion for card trading, and he amassed 1,000 trading cards for free just by trading one card to get 3 cards, to trade those 3 cards to get 10 cards. And he ended up with a Michael Jordan card, and which gave him the idea that he has a future value in these cards and that he can really generate income off of it. So what he did is he bagged up his 1,000 cards, and he sold them at $4 a pop. And this is in 7th grade, and he created a business out of it that by the end of 8th grade, so his idea behind selling them is that one of the bags was worth significantly more than $4. So people started buying these bags in hopes that they would end up with a Michael Jordan card. And so he made $5,000 off of this. And by the age of 30, he invented this product called the breathometer. And the breathometer was a simple product that he had failed countlessly. And what he learned was, when telling the story about how the breathometer works, people really don't care as much about the 1,000 things that it can pick up on your breath. They really want to relate and connect. So he ended up on Shark Tank, where there's 5 investors, and Charles Michael Yim led off. And I'll just read it really quickly because it's a powerful story, because he ended up asking for $250,000, and they gave him $1 million. And the reason that he got it is because he said his story was relatable, it was simple, and it was applicable. And so when he starts the story, he says, my name is Charles Michael Yim. I'm the founder of Breathometer. Just imagine that you're at a dinner party or at a tailgate, and he points to Mark Cuban, relating to him because he's the owner of a sports team. Or at a bar with some friends who might be having some champagne, and then he points to a table next to him that has 5 glasses of champagne. Would anybody care for a glass? And then they all raise their hand, and he hands them a glass of champagne. You know how it goes. You eat, you have some fun, you have a few drinks, and before you know it, the night's over and it's time to go home. The most important question is, are you safe to drive? Now, who would want to carry around one of these bulky breathalyzers? And then he holds up this large police breathalyzer, and everybody laughs. And then he said, that's why I created Breathometer. The first smartphone breathalyzer. It's so small it can fit into your pocket. And he pulls it out of his pocket, very similar to the way Steve Jobs did. And let me show you how it works. He just retracts the audio jack, plugs it into the smartphone, breathes into it. Within a matter of seconds, he knows what your blood alcohol content is and the amount of time it's going to take for it to leave your system. with just the push of a button. Please join me on this mission and help make smarter, safer decisions one breath at a time. So that was his pitch on Shark Tank. He was the most successful entrepreneur on Shark Tank. He ended up, getting a billionaire to invest in his company, and that's all she wrote. So if you can learn anything from it, the stories that you tell should be able to fit on the back of an envelope. And they should be simple, relatable, easy to understand, not complex. Occam's razor. The simplest solution is often the best solution. So that's my content for today. It was really a blessing being able to share this. Again, go to saleschampion.podbean.com to listen to this recording and other recordings from the past year. And in the description, I'll put the link to the phone number if you guys want to call in Monday through Friday. This is Bailey Cooper signing off. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Talk to you later. Bye.